There is this series you can find on Netflix, I think also on Amazon Prime or on the Disney streaming service. Anyway, you can find it in multiple places. It's called The Retribution. It goes like this. You have two families. One has a son, the other has a daughter. They've been knowing each other for a long time, and the son and the daughter get married because both families know each other. So the daughter from one family and the son from that one family, they marry one another. Why? Because the girlfriend was pregnant. So that was the motive behind it. But very soon after wedding, they're murdered. And there's this guy, this fugitive, that comes to the house of the mourning family of the woman that has been killed. And on TV, he's broadcasted as the potential killer. So first the family thought, oh, there's a wounded man out there who crashed with his car. But then one of the relatives sees TV and think, no, this is the one that killed our sister. Well, long story short, someone killed the man. They thought we were going to keep him here. We called the police and the ambulance. Well, someone killed the guy. Now both families were thinking, oh crap, what are we going to do? We're finished. So they decided to keep it a secret, but hey, there was a body. What are we going to do with the body? But instead of dealing with the body, they just tried to rearrange stuff on the farm. And while they were doing that, they got attention from the press. Eventually, they got rid of the body. But that one day that reporters came to take pictures and took pictures of them, that picture ended up in a newspaper, even though they didn't want it to happen. So when police came, they gave their testimonies which were false, and it was believable. But one of the detectives, who was a female, looked at the picture that appeared in the newspaper. And the female detective was thinking, hold on a minute. Why are they wearing those small shoes the day after storm? There was this big storm that passed. And they are farmers, so the whole land was muddy. Why would you, the day after heavy rainfall, go out there on your farm with such small shoes? And you are a farmer. You've been farming for maybe more than a decade. Actually, some of them probably decades. So first, the male colleague of that female detective was thinking, come on, you're going too far. Leave those people alone. But then the older detective, who's a male, thought, you know what, you're right. Why would both of them be out there near a barn wearing what appears to be sneakers the day after such heavy rainfall? By the way, that's dangerous. And that was the sign that brought down the whole cover-up. I'm not going to reveal anything else about the series. You can watch for yourself. But there's one thing that was remarkable about this short series, is that one detail, that picture, exposed everything. When you look at the picture, you would think, they're just two families come together. They've been friends for a long time. Okay, they can come together. They may just have heard that, okay, their loved ones were murdered, and maybe they came together just to process it. Okay, that can happen, but why outside at the barn the day after a heavy rainfall, wearing short shoes? That's contradicting. Even people from the town that grew up in the city wouldn't do something like that. So that exposed that they were on the rush doing something. It was just one tiny detail. And I know it's just a series, but still it shows you how a small detail can expose a lot. Now, the rest is saying the devil's in the details. That relates to when people try to trap you into an agreement that will not benefit you. They come with details And when you check the details, you realize, okay, something doesn't end up with this agreement. For example, you can have a contract, but there's one clause in the contract that gives the other party an undue leverage over you. So a lawyer would tell you, don't sign this contract, because if you do this, they can decide whether or not they're going to pay you based on how they feel. That's what's written here in legal code. So you don't sign the contract. However, the devil's in the details, it goes further. As I mentioned before on this channel, there's no such thing as a perfect crime, nor a perfect deception. Every deception and every crime has some type of defect in it that makes it easy to expose it. It doesn't matter if you use bleach to wash away the blood spatters. The fact there's a lot of bleach around, people are going to ask the question, why there's a lot of bleach there? It doesn't matter if you dump the body somewhere in the river. Sooner or later, someone's going to find a human bone somewhere after the animals in the water ate the flesh from the corpse. And then people are going to think, someone's murdered a while back here. Or it doesn't matter how good your alibi is. It's an alibi, but when people check the context, realize your alibi doesn't add up. Now, what is this all about? Why am I making this video? Be very simple about it, believers. When someone is lying to you, or when someone is tricking you, they will always tell on themselves unconsciously. It doesn't matter if they are professional liars or professional actors. The fact it's a lie or deception they're involved in, that brings with it inconsistencies. And when you pay close attention, you will see or notice inconsistencies. But what often happens is that we tend to ignore the inconsistencies that we notice about an individual or about a situation. And because we ignore the inconsistencies, because that's what society taught us to do, to ignore the inconsistencies, when we do that, we set ourselves up to be taken advantage of. Okay, that's how we were formed, that's how we were raised. And I'm telling you to unlearn it, because it won't benefit you. Let me give an example. Let's say now that someone was about to have a musical career. He signed a contract and he is performing music. And one day he decides, I'm not going to do music anymore. I'm going to go into the arts now, into painting. While he has no talent whatsoever for painting, suddenly stops performing music. And it's kind of out of the blue. So everyone thinks, why is this individual who has such a beautiful voice suddenly wants to stop singing? Even though he's been singing and giving performances in various locations, and people like him. They like his voice, so he has fans. So when he gives a statement that he decides to go into the arts, because that's been his passion all along, people will say, if that's been your passion all along, why didn't you go to the art academy? Why is it that suddenly, now that you have performances here and there, that you suddenly want to stop? But then, when you look at the guy's situation, realize that he barely has friends. And the people that he used to hang around, suddenly all of them turned away from him. Now you begin to think, there's something else going on there. Why does he want to stop his musical career? And then you figure out that he has a lot of jealous haters who are targeting him and his relatives. And because he doesn't want his relatives to be harmed, he decides to give in to the blackmail and to stop performing. Because people are upset that he is so joyfully performing, so they want to shut him down, and they found a way to shut him down to destroy his family. So there's violence that goes on. But if he gives a statement he wants to continue in the arts, people will think, well, such a waste, but hey, it's his decision. That's how most people look at it. But someone that looks at the context realizes, okay, this guy is being forced into doing this. Look, I'm not telling you to go out there and play detective. I'm telling you to be alert. Okay? When you are alert, it's the same as being a detective, because detectives are just people who are quite alert. That's why they notice things others don't. Or like Sherlock Holmes said, you see but you don't observe. I want you to observe and to be attentive to what goes on around you. Because often the answers we're looking for are right in our face and we're not even aware of it. Well, that's it for now. Keep on agreeing with Christ and be at peace.